Alrighty then, welcome back everybody. Welcome back to the drawing. I have been doing a little bit of work, mainly because I actually wanted to fix the eyes on it. Hold on a sec, just double checking something. Alright. So yeah, today we're gonna be making sure that we have the eyes fully working, and then of course getting the hair in the right style. That is actually what I want to go for. Or well, at least that's the aiming of it. So right now I actually created the eyes. I created the eyes a little bit more bigger because I realized when I was looking at this that, the other one did not have the eyes that I was aiming for. So with that said, I can actually technically now just look for what I want with this. So technically I can actually just, change this up a bit and make this like, this stripe right here. This stripe right here. And make the stripe go down like this if I want to. But I think this is better. It's always a difficult choice to make. But that's all decided. Like, you can look at things like that. But we're gonna keep it like this. And now I am, well, gonna be making sure this isn't into a group. So what I did was pretty well. It was not difficult, but I would say it is one of the things that is always a good a good idea to remind people of, is to increase the eye size so that you can actually have a lot more to look at. Of course, we're gonna keep up with the old-fashioned drawing here with how the eyebrows are working. So you have different kind of eyebrows approaching. So you have this one and you have that one. So it's actually a difference in look and style. It also means that the eyes are a little bit more oval than with the other one. But yeah, so we're gonna aim on this one. And then after that, we are relying on a lot more things than I think it would be happening. So let's just cancel out this one so we don't remove anything bad. But also I'm then fully aware how to do the coloring here. So now we need to get the old-fashioned drawing in. So this is just from, the expression that I did 3 years ago. So now we're gonna pick up a little bit more newer one. Mainly because I actually want the eyes to be happening. So here you can see it as well. The eyes here are a little bit more, well, in the right color tone, and I want that color inside of the drawing itself, so that's why I'm aiming for it. So we're gonna be aiming for that color. So let's see if I can get that color right where I want to be. So this is the color that I'm aiming for. It's not fully working, but I'm gonna be switching it up a little bit, mainly because I want to be able to use this color as the baseline color for it. And then move on from there. So what I'm aiming to do now is actually adding in the base colors, and from there I'm gonna be moving on. So we now have the base color right there. Now the question is, since I have the base colors right there, I should technically also make the eye colors also work. But now that I know how to do that, I'm gonna be using this one instead, mainly because I can and I should. So we're gonna be aiming to do that. Of course, we're gonna be adding in some coloring. Of course, we're gonna be adding in some bits here and there to help with that color. So now that we have that, we can now actually get ourselves towards what I'm aiming for here, which is technically this one right there. So do I want that on the same thing? Probably not, right? No, probably not. But I know one thing for sure, and that is this bit right here. That bit right there. Yeah, that is the bit I need. And then after that, I need to remove... Oh, bloody hell. Did I do it on the wrong layer? No, I did not. Then why is that happening? Please tell me why this is happening. Because I forgot to put that blue there, right? That's why it's happening. There's no other reason why it should be happening. Alright, yeah, because I was forgetting to put blue there. Alright, so let me just grab that. Let me just grab that color again and just get a little bit more pattern there. There you go. Oh, wait. Yeah. Alright. Now we've done that. Now we're gonna add in the other bit, which is gonna be then the main idea of that part. Oh, that looks so cute though. Do I want it like that? Alright, now I have that perfectly done, and now I need to get those things there. Right. Oh no, I need to wait for that. I need to wait for that to be added in. Yeah. So now we have that one done. Now we need to get that blue again in there. But I want that blue on a different layer, mainly because I'm gonna be using a lot of issues with that. So first things first we need to do is get this color right there, and that should give us the effect that I want for it. There we go. Ah, I switched to blue. I switched to yellow for blue. Interesting. Oh, I switched to green for blue. All right. Now I need to get that, which is then just a darker color here. And then what I then did was add in the light sources on that size. Yep. So with that said, and then I actually need to get this color right there, and then hopefully get that. All right, now we have done that. We now have actually that. Now we can actually get towards that part. And what I now need to do here is technically go for this instead. And see if that actually works. Because if I use white, that would not satisfy the idea, right? Oh boy. That could still work though. But then I need to make sure that I have those bubbles in the right direction. Okay, let's see. Alright, now we have done that. We can now move to the next bit, which is fixing the eyebrows. So let's do that. That is going to be on top of this. And now we're going to pick up the hair. Oh, jeez. That hair is very blunt, but it is important to have. Alright, now we have the very bland color. Now let's see if we can get that a little bit more on the darker side. That should it. That should do it, right? A little more darker then. Really, you're gonna do me the favor of just getting the darkest color in here to get it fixed. All right, now we should have it, and then we're gonna go back to making a lighter color to fix the highlight bit. All right, now we have done that. We now actually have the eyes. So now we have the face, which if we add it back in, we have the face, we have the eyes, and now we need to just have the mouthpiece. So let's do that. That is this one. So we're gonna put that into a group as well, mainly because we can actually then fix things up. Because this one has that. That nose needs to be not there. That nose needs to be here. Oh boy. Because technically if I use the nose here, the same nose right there, and I would use that nose. That means that we have a nose here, so the nose is on the bottom line of the eyes, which is correct. It needs to be where the eyes begin is where the nose begins, technically. Then, if we do that, it means that if we have the mouth, that is going to be then right then, and it means the mouth needs to be here. Do I need to make it fully white then? No, because that doesn't... That could actually work. But then I need to make it strict. And I need to make sure that if I have that, because now I can have like... Yeah. Ooh. That is a quite a good... That's quite a good mouth. God damn it. But first, let's have an open mouth. Because this is actually a thing that you can just switch around anyway. Alright. Wait. That is too thick. That is way too thick. That is way too thick. That is... Yeah, that's too thick. Nah, I am not gonna be using that. There we go. Alright, now that we've done that, we can actually get to the coloring part. Which we're going to be using the same colors as before because we need to have the if you don't use the same colors in the color palettes, well, you need to keep on consistency in the artwork itself. Even if you use different characters, if you have defined what a color should be from the inner of the mouth, you need to keep it that way, otherwise you have otherwise it will be a very, very disturbing eye catcher the moment you use it into a different font or style. So that's bad. And then we're going to be aiming to get ourselves the color for the mouthpiece. There you go. And now we need to get that mouthpiece there. And it's done. Now we are done with that. Now we can actually get this back in there. Now we actually have something to work with, which is good. Now we can actually also add in the color and the clothing back in. And now we actually are almost there with the drawing because now we only need the hair. So, huzzah, magic. Alright, now we need to figure out how to do the hair. Because that's a major issue right now. Mainly because of the hair itself is, well, big. I can technically go for this kind of hair and then put it back in there. And then redesign it that way. That could actually be a good idea. I don't mind if I just borrow this for a minute. Mainly because I'm gonna borrow it just to get the shapes in there. And the best thing about this is that I can reuse all of this if necessary. It's a different line work, but it still would get the job done. So we have the select, we have, alright, copy and paste. Now we have a very big drawing compared to the original one. Jesus. First, let's do that. First, let's switch this around. The selected, we need to transform it horizontally so that we actually have it in the right direction. Now you can actually see that this is an absolute nightmare to get right, but and now you can see that I made a mistake here because technically this needs to be upper. So technically this needs to be like so. Because the face is incorrect. But we can actually use this as a reference sheet, so we're going to be keeping it like that. But we need to move it around. We need to move it a little bit upwards and then stretch the bottom parts. And then of course do the same with this bit right there. There you go. And now we need to figure out how to get this bit into that location. So now we need to get this bit to the right. Oh. And then we need to lower that size down to the right amount. And that should work. Now it's deselected, and now we should technically have a good idea of what we're aiming for. We're going to be aiming this for into the group, and this group is gonna be on top of all of it, I think, yeah. And now what we're aiming for, well, wait, hold up. No, this doesn't need to be. Yes, the line work needs to be here, but the coloring part not. That was the problem. All right, so we have this. So technically I did almost do it perfectly fine. I think if I make this bit a little bit more smaller on this side. All right, so let's see. Let's first get the first bit done. That means I need to temporarily do that so I can actually see things. All right, let's first do the easy part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then one here, and then it's an overlap here, with then spike there, and one there, one there, one there, and one there, one there, and one there. Oh. All right. That will give a good reminder of how to look at things, and now we add in the thing. Let's see. And now we need to double check something. Yeah, man, I swear. Images. Let's see if I can find what I'm looking for. Probably not here, but it should be decent. There it is. That's the one I'm looking for. All right. So, what I need to do is do that. All right. Let's see if I can do that. Oh, Jesus. Well, I already have done way too much now. Thank you. Thank you, brain, for doing that stupid thing. Alright, so now I have that, and then I can go here. Which makes this thing... no. Now that is stupid here. That means I need to have something here that actually holds it down. So what it means I need to do here is get this to this size, probably. No. I know what I need to do here. This is the size. Let's first do the thing that I need to do, which is making the effect happen. That means I need to go here. Well, that does not make it work. That doesn't work. That doesn't work either. So I need to make sure that this bit is not empty. It needs to be having volume. So I need to grab this bit right here, then go down. No, that's too much. All right, that is the right one. So all right, so now that we have that, I need to make sure that this bit right here, this bit right here that I just created, that this bit still has things. To do that, I need to make sure that I have this one right here. Oh, this one right here to get that, to get there. All right. We're almost there. Then, because of that, I need to make sure that I have that part on the bottom side. I need to have that behind the the layers of the face, definitely. So, damn, this is gonna be a difficult one. So I need to make sure that this bit right here. All right, now I need to get this bit. So this one can go away because we don't have it. We don't need to have it. Or we could technically go for it, but that means I need to now go here and plunge one there. It's always great to have like work around it. So with that said, I now have actually a working part because then we need to then go here and then 1 and 2. Oh. 1, oh, 1 and then 2, because we cannot have that into the same line. And then we need to grab this bit, which is going to be here, here, and here. So this is one bit. Now let's put them into different layers because we actually need to. Then we can actually go here. Oh. That's the second bit, and then the bottom bit is gonna be these ones. And that should work. And that should work. So no. And that should work. Come on. Gimme. Yeah, this bit is problematic. And then that is what I needed. A longer line. Now that we have that, we can now technically add this into the right direction, and there you go. Okay. Oof. So now we have that. We now actually have the eyes, which we can then use to reference it. So we technically have this now, which looks very good. Not gonna lie, it looks pretty good. And that looks like it is actually quite nice. Let's see. Do I need to make sure that that bit, the bottom side needs to be a little bit more down throttled, right? Probably bottom side needs to be a little bit more exposed. So like that bit right now. Like that bit right there. But then if I do that, I need to make sure that I have this like formatted in such a way that it actually doesn't matter. Or just not in a big way. Two? Maximum of two? Maybe. That could work. But then I need to make sure that I have that also not set. Yes. All right. I think we'll leave it here for now. Well, yeah. I think this is a good. I think this is a good start where we're gonna be aiming for tomorrow. So as you can see, we now are almost there. We just need to now figure out how to draw this here properly. With that said, I think we know how to do it. It's just that, well, I know how to do it at least. I need to draw very thick lines onto it and then make it happen. All right. I hope you'll have enjoyed for now, and thanks for watching, and I hope I'll see you next time. Until then, I want to wish you a lovely day, and